This hydro dipping question comes from one of our YouTube viewers, and they asked, do you use the same type gun for activator and clear coat, and what tip sizes do you use for activator and clear coat? Y'all got questions? I got answers. Let's do it. So Mike commented recently on one of our YouTube videos, and he said, hey, the videos are awesome. I'm learning a lot from you. Thank you. I'm glad I could help. I'm making a switch from powder coating to hydro dipping in Cerakote. I use the small Iwata gun for Cerakote. Do you use the same type gun for activator and clear coat, and what tip sizes do you use for activator and clear coat? I think the Iwata is a pretty pricey gun to be spraying activator. So he's got a few different questions. Let's go through them individually and I will answer them for you. So here's a rundown of all the spray guns that I use and the tip sizes. The spray gun that I use to spray base coat and primer with is going to be an Iwata LPH 400 Extreme. It is the orange tip, and I only use a 1.4 tip. I do not use any other tip sizes in that particular gun. For your base coat gun, anything between like a 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, somewhere in that range will usually do just fine for base coats. My preference is 1.4. There is no right or wrong answer. You can use whatever it is that you like, but I usually recommend people start out with a 1.4, and that usually gives pretty good results. I have a separate base coat gun that I use just for metallics and anything with any kind of glitter in it, and that gun is the One Hit Wonder spray gun that they sell on their website. It's very similar to the Iwata. For activator, I use this right here, the hvlp GPI, and this is sold by K2 Concepts. It is exclusive to them, so you cannot buy it anywhere else except for K2 Concepts. I've got a video all about this thing, and I'll leave a link to it right up here, and it shows you how to use it and how to set it up. For my activator gun, it comes with a 1.4 and a 1.8 tip. I prefer the 1.8 tip size, and there's nothing wrong with it if you like the 1.4, but typically most of your activator guns are going to be somewhere in the 1.3 to 1.8 range, and again, it's personal preference. You can use whatever it is that you like. I also run a pressure pot system. This is the Brain Pot. They're very, very, very expensive. I don't use it all the time, but it is my other activator gun setup. My clear coat spray gun is a regular Iwata LPH 400, and I also use a 1.4 tip on it as well. For clear coat guns, your ranges are going to be anywhere from a tip size of 1.2 up to about 1.8. 1.4 seems to be a good middle ground, and it gives a great finish for me every time. Again, personal preference, you can use whatever it is that you want to use. And then the last part of his question was not really a question, it was a comment. He said, I think the Iwata is a pretty pricey gun to be spraying activator with. Price is really relative when it comes to spray guns. You get what you pay for. And since hydrographics is 100% visual, I want it to look as best as it possibly can. So I'm gonna spend the money and get the best spray guns out there so that I can lay down the best finish with as minimal effort from me as possible. Now, it's not to say you can't get good results with cheaper guns, because you can. It just takes a lot more effort and skill on your part. For me, since this is my business and I depend on this to make a living, I want all of my finishes to look as good as they possibly can, so I'm going to spend the money and get the best of the best when it comes to equipment. As far as cheaper activator guns, because you made a comment that it's, Iwata is kind of an expensive gun to be spraying activator with, and so is the hvlp GPI. Activating is the most difficult part for everyone to get a hold of, and that is the one thing that I recommend that you do not skimp on. Get the best of the best, and it will eliminate a lot of your problems with activating. I have in the past used other activator guns that are cheaper, not the Harbor Freight, Campus Hossfield cheap guns. I have used the A&I F-150 gun, I've used the Airgunza, I've used a lot of different activator guns that were on the cheaper side, and I've never gotten as good of results as I have with the setup that I have right here. Can it be done with cheap stuff? Absolutely. Not as easy as it is to do with nice stuff, though. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's roll the bloopers. God, they asked, are you getting old? Because you can't see what you printed out here. This hydro dipping question comes from one... So Mike Procoat, no, it's like a business name or something, like Procoat. I'll give you guys some suggestions for what you can use if you're on a budget. Because Lord knows y'all some cheap folks out there on YouTube. Oh my God. I've got a video all about this thing, this words. What are the words? Words. What? This activator gun. Oh my God. Can it be done with cheaper stuff? Yeah, it can. I wouldn't want to, though. I don't know why anybody would want to. Why make your life harder than it already has to be? Because hydro dipping is hard. Why did I do this for a living? This sucks.